Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. So another 500 week for the Baltimore Orioles. Started the last week off against the Toronto Blue Jays, at home in Camden Yards. The week started off very well, until we got to the end of the game. As you can see, this first game was Tuesday, right? 11-6 Orioles. Had a big inning in the third. Gunnar Henderson, grand slam. Henderson has been slotted into the leadoff spot pretty frequently with the absence of Mullins. Seems to be taking to it very well. Have to see what happens when Mullins returns. Santander with an RBI. Ryno Hearn, 2 more RBIs. Frazier 3, Hicks 1. You see Hicks. Is that when he dinged the foul pole? Yeah, he dinged the foul pole in right field. Hicks home run. Frazier, O'Hearn, Henderson home runs. Hayes had 2 doubles. Rutschman 2 doubles. So, huge offense this game. Was going very well for the first 7 innings. Then you get to the pitching side of it. Dean Kramer did okay. 6 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. It's pretty good. Baker, in relief, had the 7th. 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. No, I didn't open this. No. Now, where things started to go wrong is, and manager Brandon Hyde talked about this in the post-game press conference, about not wanting to use certain pitchers. You have a huge lead. Obviously, you don't want to use Batista and Cano, obviously. But he was really trying to get through the game without having to use some of the better pitchers, like, say, Bauman here at the end. He didn't really want to go to Bauman. Bauman has been performing very well as kind of a long relief man. And for some reason, Coulomb, he didn't want to go to Coulomb either. Now, I certainly understand that. And it's possible there was something else going on with Coulomb that we didn't know about. But if you're in a big... Why do I keep trying to say if you're in a big game? If you're in a game with a big lead at the end of it, you understand you don't want to use your closer and your best setup man. But you got to get the game over with, right? So maybe you got to use your third and your fourth best reliever. You can see Voth only gets credit for 1/3 of an inning. Did not have a great outing. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk. Cionel Perez came in. He was able to get out of that inning, wasn't he? No, let's go to play-by-play. Should have had this all ready and set up. Something went wrong, huh? The 8th inning, correct? Yeah. You can see here's Voth, the tracking on Voth, right? Biggio homered, then he got a fly out. Walked Santiago Espinal, gave up a single, gave up another single, and Espinal scored. Now, Cionel Perez, he was able to come in and get the final 2 outs. But right there, to me, Cionel Perez especially if he's getting 2 outs and they're high stress outs with the runners on. You're not getting another inning out of him. Maybe it's just my opinion. I'm just some guy in his basement talking about baseball. But from what I have seen about Cionel Perez, he really is a 1 inning guy. Maybe you can stretch it. Maybe. But Toronto was gaining momentum. They were down big for most of the game. You kind of let them creep back into it. So the momentum is building for the Toronto Blue Jays. I would not have sent Cionel Perez out there. I think it was the wrong decision. And I know hindsight's 2020, but I wouldn't have done it in the moment. But I do understand, well, you don't want to use Bauman. You don't want to use Coulomb. Got to use one of them. And you can see, walked a guy, next guy reached on a fielder's choice. So you're at second. Oh no, they got the guy at second. So then another single, then another single. Fielder's choice, Chapman out, Beezer to third. Ernie Clement scored. Then he walked somebody. So then you got to bring in another guy. It's just a thing with my mindset. Relief pitchers, at least some of them anyway, the not back end guys like your Cano or like your Batista. There's people on, they're not going to pitch as well. Some guys are like that. Cionel Perez is not one of those guys. So, and even bringing Bauman in, you really don't want to bring Bauman in because they are high stress outs. He was able to get him, but they're high stress outs. I think if he comes in with the clean inning, I just think it's much better. Because, yes, he would be getting 3 outs instead of the 1. But it's less stress, low stress, right? Because nobody's on. Instead of coming in with the however many people, or like 10 people on base. Yeah, too much of an over-exaggeration, but however. But you got the win. But it does tell you that the Orioles are struggling for a bullpen. All right, next game against Toronto. Scored all those runs the night before, couldn't do anything until the 9th inning the next game. Oh well, a lot of offers. Henderson, Santander, Mateo pinch hit. Lester, Ofer. We're able to get 6 hits, but you can see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Not going to do too much there. Hicks was able to get an RBI. 2-out RBI. But, I don't know. Most of it, I think, is, or was, Jose Barrios. Very nice-looking pitcher. Very disappointed when... Was he a free agent from the Minnesota Twins? Or was it Milwaukee? I don't remember. It's either a trade or a free agency. I was a little upset that the Orioles didn't pursue him more or acquire him. He looks like a very good starting pitcher to me. And you can see it in this game. 7 2/3, only 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. It's just the way it goes sometimes. Oh, cool. Now this thing is... Goddamn stupid ass Microsoft bastards interrupting me while I'm doing things. Kyle Bradish got the start. Pitched very well. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 strikeout. 7 innings. You squandered a pitching performance like that? Very disappointing. Coulomb, after not getting in the previous game, he got into this game and didn't record an out. Gave up 2 runs. Is it a home run? May have. No, this Springer homered off of Bradish. 2 hits, 1 walk. That's where the 2 runs come from. I don't know. I don't know if he's overworked or the book's out on him or just an off day. Maybe he's sick or something. Bauman came in and relieved Coulomb in the 8th. 1 hit, 1 walk, but got 3 outs. Who's it? Garrett. That's right. They brought this Garrett man up. What is his name? Reed Garrett. Don't know too much about Reed Garrett. I want to say they acquired him off of waivers or something, but I can't remember. Something about Hoskins off of Reed Garrett. So it does sound like he was put on waivers or something by another team. So I think it's almost a bit of desperation. Desperate for bullpen arms. I mean, yeah, he doesn't look too bad, but doesn't look that good either. Pitched the 9th inning. I mean, you're down, so what's the worst that could happen, I guess? They give up 2 hits. Didn't give up a run, but they give up 2 hits. I mean, we'll see how long Reed Garrett sticks around. Last game against the Toronto Blue Jays, 4-2 in favor of the Orioles, and with the series win. Hayes leading off now. Henderson back down to cleanup spot. Well, Hayes went 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs scored, so it's pretty nice. Santander in his usual 3rd spot also had an RBI. Rutschman, Henderson also... Hayes, Rutschman, Henderson, Santander, all with your RBIs. It's kind of odd, but however. Really need to get the bottom of the order going. Really do. Hayes hit a home run, so did Rutschman. That's always going to help. Teo, 2 steals in this game because he did have 2 hits. Very nice to see. He is slowly climbing out of his hole or slump that he's been in. He's making very good contact now. Just not falling as much as you would like when you have a solid hit ball. 2 more steals, he's up to 20. Hicks did start with the day off, but then pinch hit later in the game because it was fairly close. So he went in for McKenna, who actually got the start. Kind of nice he gets a start. He did go 0 for 1 with a walk, so that's why he got pinch hit for late. Not that Hicks really did anything, but however, you never know. Tyler Wells, another good outing by Tyler Wells. 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. There we go. That's a strikeout total we know from Tyler Wells. He was what was his last one? His last one was down to like 3 strikeouts or something. It was a low number for Tyler Wells, but nice to see him get those strikeout numbers back up to where they should be, or where we like to see him. Cano finished off the seventh and got 2 outs into the eighth, 1 inning total, to give up 3 hits and a walk. A little bit of overuse, a little bit of seeing the book on him to get a strikeout, which is nice. Batista finished off the eighth and pitched the whole ninth. No hits, no runs, no walks. It's very nice to see that from Batista. You like to see that your closer can pitch a little more than a 1 inning sometimes and still be very effective. 2 strikeouts and got his 18th save as of this game with Toronto. Then the Orioles went to Chicago. And, well, it really looks like they left something back in Baltimore because something didn't go with them to Chicago. So you can see here's their first game. This was Friday. 10-3, Chicago Cubs. Put a hurting on them. His old buddy Trey Mancini. 2 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 runs scored. Nice to see him having production, even though he's not with us. Still wish he was here, though. Not a whole lot of hits going on except for Look O'Hearn, 3 for 4. Nobody on the drive in, though, in front of him. Hayes down in the 5th spot. Did get 2 RBIs. Not a whole lot of offense in this series with the Cubs. I don't know if it was time change, maybe, because I said last week the games were all early. And on the schedule, they were all scheduled at 2:20. Nice to see Mateo get a run driven in. Did have a double in the game. But, I mean, the offense just didn't. It's like they left all their bats in Baltimore. I think that's what it was. They left their bats in Baltimore. Maybe some of the pitching. Cole Irvin. Should have left him at... no, that's mean. He was brought back up in an indirect way. He was brought back up after Grayson Rodriguez was sent to the minors. So Irvin gets sent to the minors, Rodriguez in. Rodriguez sent to the minors, Irving in. At least as far as the starting rotation goes. Well, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Grayson Rodriguez could have done that. I mean, I just think Grayson Rodriguez would be able to learn how to get major league hitting out if he was in the major leagues. Yes, I know he doesn't have great command of all his pitches. Part of that is he seems to have more left-right movement than downward movement. His four-seam fastball, it's fairly straight. He does have a cutter, so that's right to left. He has a slider, that's also right to left. And even his changeup has more lateral movement as left to right. Excuse me. So nothing's moving down. I mean, his curveball does kind of move down, but it also has lateral movement. So I think that's where he's struggling. Because the strike zone, typically, it is bigger up and down than it is left and right. Of course, that does depend on the umpire. Doesn't help that they're inconsistent. So he might want to try working on not having his changeup move so much inward action towards a right-handed hitter, but it is very nice because his fastball is so big. But I mean, this out of your fifth starter, I mean, you might as well have Grayson Rodriguez in there. Bauman in relief. A little too much use earlier in the week, I guess. Bauman pitches 1 inning, gives up 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 walks. Cionel Perez, 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk. Oh my God. Reed Garrett. Well, you like to see that he could go an inning and 2/3, so at least he has the arm length, I guess. 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk. That's not good. Keegan Aiken, where the hell have you been this whole week? Did we see him at all in the Toronto series? No. Possible I missed something. I mean, these roster transaction and who's up and who's down, especially in the bullpen, is very hard to follow. But where was Keegan Aiken this whole time? I don't know. However, and yes, Keegan doesn't always have great outings, but when he pitches an inning, doesn't give up a hit, run, or walk, makes you question where has he been. Oh, one of these games, that's right, Mountcastle. See, we do have another catcher, Kola Savari. It was this game. Mountcastle is on the IL with some kind of vertigo, which is a little puzzling in baseball. You would, because you don't know where it's coming from. Like if you're a football player, like, all right, we can probably figure out where the vertigo is coming from. Don't know where it's coming from. Or no updates yet. It does look like the Orioles do want to go with 3 catchers when they can. All right, let's move on to the next game against the Cubs. The second game against the Cubs. This one was a lot closer. You like to see that. 3-2 in favor of the Chicago Cubs. The Orioles actually out-hit the Cubs 7-4, but could only push 2 of those runs across. Yeah, lots of stuff here. McCann did end up twisting his ankle, so he is going to spend some time on the injured list. The Orioles did select the contract of somebody, and I will get to that at the end of my video. So it does appear that they really do want to go with 3 catchers, or at least try to anyway. Who knows? Rutschman is the only one driving in runs, at least today anyway. Got the home run here. No steals. Here's Mateo. Did get the start, but as you can see, Rutschman started at DH. So when McCann comes out, they may not have had Kola Savari on the roster at this point. So sometimes they want to do 3 catchers, sometimes they don't. Who knows? So they just put Rutschman in there to catch. So now you have to have your pitcher spot in your lineup, and that gets kind of crazy. Because who went and played shortstop? Henderson went and played shortstop because they did some weird stuff with this lineup. Gibson got to start in this game. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The strikeouts were there in this game. What is that? More than 2/3 of the outs were strikeouts. That's nice, but where was the runs? Oh, that's all weird. I don't know why it does this. It's done this before, where it's copied him into 2 lines. I'm not sure what's going on there. Baker in relief. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Coulomb, 1 inning of relief, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Yes, that's only 8 innings, but they were on the road in Chicago, and Chicago won, so saved them an inning. Well, yeah, you get the loss, but at least it saves your bullpen. All right, now, this was Sunday, Father's Day, salvaging the series. Thank God. Hayes 3 for 4. Gunnar was scratched. Why was Gunnar scratched? Some kind of stomach virus. If I think Hyde said either middle of the game or before the game. So allegedly there is some kind of stomach bug going through the clubhouse. May have something to do with this. So hopefully they can kick that and they can get back healthy and start hitting. Rutschman 1 for 5 with an RBI. Santander 2 for 5 with an RBI. Urias 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Frazier 1 for 4 and RBI. Mateo. Here we go. Another RBI from Mateo. Only 1 for 4 though. Did not steal a base. But Hicks stole a base. Cool. Kramer got to start. Only went 5 innings, so he didn't go that much. But off day Monday today, so it's not too bad. As I said, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs. Only one of them earned. As you see, there was an error by O'Hearn. Happens, I guess. Only walked 2, struck out 7. It's very nice. It does seem like the rotation is pretty good. You got 4 good starters because you got Gibson, Bradish, Kramer, Tyler Wells. Got to find that 5th one somewhere. Hopefully Grayson Rodriguez can get himself right and get himself back up to major leagues and look fairly decent. And maybe at the trade deadline, the Orioles are go get somebody very reliable in the bullpen. But we'll see. Coulomb pitched the 6th? Pitched the 6th. No hits, no runs, 1 strikeout. Bauman only went 2/3 of an inning in the 7th. No hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts. Part of why Cano and Batista came in, it was the save situation. But I think, to a certain extent, Brendan Hyde wanted to use them. Number one, they got a lot of rest because they haven't pitched much this week. And 2, you got to shut the other team down, right? Because you just haven't been like I said, you left the bats in Baltimore. At least for the first 2 games anyway. Oh, I know I talked about time. This game, for one, it pisses me off because it's on all these stupid-ass streaming services. And 1, you can't figure out which one it is. And 2, you probably ain't even paid for that one. It's like you got the Peacock, you got the Apple TV, you got the ESPN app, you got who Amazon wants some baseball games, Hulu wants some holy shit. And it didn't even start at 2:20. It started at like 1 o'clock. How you got that on the schedule at 2 o'clock? But then it's like when 2 o'clock comes around, you turn a baseball game on, they've been playing for like an hour. However, scheduling, it seems like scheduling used to be pretty standard for Major League Baseball. Now, it's goofy as shit and I hate it. Oh, something I have to get used to and rant about in my videos. All right, so Cano finished off the 7th inning and pitched the 8th. Zeros across the board. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. However, got another hold. What is he up to? 16 now? 16 holds. That's pretty good. And Batista got the 9th. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. 19th save. Very nice to see turn things around after not looking very well the first 2 games in Chicago. Turn it around and didn't make it a losing week. All right, let's look at some of these articles. Here's an article written by Steve Molesky. Yeah, Henderson was scratched. We'll get to that. Here he's talking about James McCann, injured list. Talking about the wonky thing because they wanted to put Rutschman in there to catch, and that would have... It's a whole big thing, but McCann did gut out most of the inning. So, nice to see some toughness by him. All right, who... Jose Godoy? Goody? Not sure how to pronounce that. What did they say? Selected contract. And reliever Reed Garrett was designated for assignment to make room for Goody on the 40-man roster. Purchased Gody's contract from the New York Yankees June 2nd. He is from Venezuela. He's 28. 26 major league games. Seattle, Minnesota, Pittsburgh. These are very low slashing numbers. 123 should be his average, which is not good. 194 should be his on-base percentage, which is not good. His slugging percentage is 140. And then this 333 should be on-base percentage plus slugging. This guy better be one hell of a defensive wizard. Because these numbers suck. Does it say how many? 1 double and 4 RBIs, going 7 for 57. He went a combined 1 for 20 last year for Pittsburgh and Minnesota. Just because you picked up Hicks and he's played well doesn't mean you should try to do it again. And here this is, when did Molesky write this? 18th, so this was yesterday, before yesterday's game. Oh crap, where did it go? Mountcastle has been doing some pregame work in Chicago, but nothing new to report, I guess, other than he is doing things. He's not laid up in hospital or on bed rest or something. day to day right now. Michael Gibbons pitched in Norfolk last night as part of a. He was put on the IL, right? Yeah, pretty sure. Not expected to be active for the upcoming 2-game series against Tampa Bay. And avoided a sweep. Here you go. Here, finally get to Henderson. It's mentioned in the headline. Apparently, just as they published this article, scratch Gunnar Henderson. Urias will play third base and Lester will play first. As of then, they didn't have word. Yeah, Hyde said, I guess it was during the game, I can't remember. Something about a stomach bug. All right, let's get to what do I usually get to? All right, let's go to the schedule. Getting along this season pretty well. As I mentioned, 2-game series with Tampa Bay at Tampa. Off day Monday, Tuesday, 6:40 start time. Wednesday, 12:10 start time. So 2-game series in Tampa. Then Friday starts a series at Camden Yards against the Seattle Mariners. 7 o'clock start time Friday, 4 o'clock start time Saturday, 1:30 start time Sunday. A big stretch, only 5 games. So we want to win 3 of these and not have a losing week. Because trying to remember where the standings were. They're 5 games back Tampa Bay. The Yankees are 5.5 games back of the Orioles. So don't seem to be losing ground with the Yankees behind them, but they are kind of losing ground with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in front of them. Really need to win these 2 games. Because then that'll put us, 3 games back. Really need that. But 44 wins is pretty good. As you can see, nobody in the Central has 44. The Rangers do have 44. The Braves have 46. Diamondbacks with 43. So they are tied for the 3rd most wins in Major League Baseball, which is very good to see. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week. I've already gone long enough. Stay tuned for next week. I'll only be talking about 5 games, so hopefully shorter. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.